Hey guys, Kev here, and I have something awesome to show you. This is the new Numb Knifeworks Cornerstone. It's actually a new brand, Nick's Unhinged Mechanical Brain. And yeah, really excited about this one. We're gonna get into it. I want to give a shout out to Blade HQ for sending this over to me via Numb Knifeworks. And they also sent me this sick beanie, which is awesome. I've never had a company branded thing that was actually looking kind of sick. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to wear this. 50% merino wool. Psh, psh, if it was 100%, I might wear it. No, I'm just kidding. This looks and feels fantastic. This is probably going to be my new beanie this winter. It's big enough too. It's not one of those ones that, like, I guess that's why they call them skull caps, huh? They're too tight on you. Anyway, let's check out this knife. The Cornerstone, the N1, looking sexy right there. Nice packaging, by the way. I like how it's a little bit different. It's like their own kind of thing. I mean, we've seen the tin before from like Bastide, but this is a Riot OEM, and usually you just see the slide, or you see the magnetic box thing from Riot OEM stuff. So kind of nice to see that. Here is the Cornerstone, just a first look at it for those people who need to see the knife or they'll freak out. Okay, there you go. Now I'm gonna talk, all right? Let me just put this stuff back. You get a nice little card here. It's got the specs on it, which is always nice. And there's a little QR code, probably takes you over to their website. Links to the knife itself. And we have some dope stickers. So you have Numb Knifeworks, official numbskull, which I think looks fantastic. You got the crab on there because it is the PinchLok, baby. This is a new lock, and this is not hey, we took a lock and changed one thing and called it a new lock. It's not a, hey, we put a button on a lock that already existed kind of thing. No, this is a new lock. Nick came up with a new concept, a new lock, and it is fucking awesome. So there's a little backstory here when it comes to me and Colin. Divo knives, essentially. Nick reached out to me a while ago. This was, I guess, earlier this year. He reached out to me. He sent me an email on a whim, and I think he might have sent emails around to a couple of people, and, channels he'd watched, and just, wanted to get feedback on his PinchLok. Well, it wasn't called that at the time, but on his locking mechanism that he designed. And the funny part about it is he basically was like, hey, I got this idea. I'd like to show you, but you need to sign an NDA to see it. And I don't know why, but he just seemed like a good dude, and I'm always interested in trying to help people out, right? So I was like, sure, dude, I'll check it out. So I signed this NDA, and then he showed me the lock on a very rough prototype that he made in his garage. And I immediately was like, damn, this is cool. So I read Colin in, and I was like, dude, I can't tell you anything. You got to sign this NDA. So he did. He signed it. And then he saw it and was like, shit, dude, this is cool. And then we helped Nick kind of, I would say dial this in. He did all the work when it comes to the lock. That was all his brain. The design was, I'm pretty sure, was all him as well, or 99% of it was him. There's probably a little bit of Divo pixie dust in this knife design, but it's a Nick Palizzi design. And Numb Knifeworks design. And we set them up with Riot I thought Riot would be a great choice of manufacturer for this because it was a new lock. Riot, in my opinion, has the best engineers, so that made the most sense. So we connected in with Riot, and he kind of took it from there. And now it's a knife brand, and it's a knife. And there's more coming, and a lot of awesome stuff that he has planned for this. And I'm so proud of the dude, and I'm so happy for him. And I'm so glad that I can say this is fucking awesome. It literally is what I wanted it to be when he first sent it to me, and I thought, ooh, that could be good. And that's where we've ended up. So really, really excited about that. I am going to take credit for the name PinchLok and this crab. Ow. Fuck, I got a cramp. I never thought I'd take credit for a crab, but anyway, I think I just, at one point, we had so many conversations, me, him, and Colin, back and forth when this was all early on. And we were talking about the name of the lock. We were pitching different stuff, and I threw PinchLok out there because it just makes sense, right? You got to pinch the fucking thing. It was the most obvious. And then, you know, a crab came to mind, and I guess he took that from there. I hadn't seen these, so it's so cool. Yeah, shout out to Nick. He did an absolutely fantastic job putting this all together and starting a company, and you know, he's taking a lot of risk here, and he's also just, you know, doing awesome stuff. So real big shout out to Nick. Really happy for you, dude. So let's get into the knife. All right, enough of the shenanigans. So obviously this is a knife that I would love, right? It's got a sheep's foot blade. It's smaller size. It's not tiny, but it's not big either. It's right in that sweet spot for me. And the number one thing with the lock that I found had to be the most important thing when he first showed it to me, I thought, okay, that's awesome because you can, you know, you can close it and open it with the lock, right? And your fingers are not in the path of the blade. But as you guys will know, I'm not the biggest fan of stuff that's not like a traditional liner lock or doesn't at least have a detent, right? And a lot of these new locks, pivot locks, button, like a lot of this shit doesn't have a detent. Well, Nick thought of that. And that's why this knife actually has two. So each of the tabs has a detent on it. So there's a detent ball on each of those tabs. So this knife has to break through those two detent balls, and it locks in on those two detent balls. So you have a traditional detent in the sense of the word, right? So no, it's not a liner lock. It is kind of, it's like a dual liner lock essentially because there's two locks or liners in there. I call them tabs. I don't think he does, but they're basically two tab locks that are on either side of the scale. I think I'm going to take it apart. I don't want to because it just sounds so fucking good. But I feel like for science, I have to take this apart. But there's basically two liners, one on each side, and then there's tabs, right? This piece connected to that, and that's what you're pushing in when you're disengaging. So those tabs pop out. Think of like a liner lock, right? So there's one popping out on this side, and there's one popping out on that side. And then there's a detent ball on each one. Fucking awesome. Yeah, so that's super cool. The other thing is it's ambidextrous, obviously. He did a great job with this here. Originally, he actually had he had the tall boy clip. I think we literally took the 3D file of the tall boy and had it on here. but he changed it over to a 2-screw design, and I think it looks nice. And it's different, you know, so I think it made sense to do that. And I got to tell you, this is the cleanest looking non-filler tab reversible clip knife design that I've seen. So usually when people do this and they don't have a filler tab, it looks kind of unfinished, right? But the way he did this, it actually looks good. I mean, it's just 2 screws. It's not like he did anything weird, but having that kind of milled out area, but it's not like milled deep, so it doesn't look obnoxious or anything. It just looks good to me. If you do get one of these, they are supposed to be releasing at the end of the month. It sounds like they're shooting for like a Halloween release. Assuming they get the production run in time. It sounded like these are samples that he got in. They're production knives, but they got a certain number of them. Pre-production. No, not pre-production. I don't know what the hell you would call it. It's just like they sent them a small number ahead of time that they could ship fast. And then they're going to have those at Blade West. So if you want to see more of this, there's 3 versions. Check out their website, by the way. I think it's NumbKnifeworks.com. I'm going to link it in the description. It'll be in a pinned comment. Check all that stuff out. Scan that QR code, whatever you want to do. But he's got a whole breakdown of the knife on there. He's got the pricing. It's $350. The DLC one, which is all DLC, including the handle, is $365. And then there's like a stonewashed one as well that I think is just plain. And that one's $350, and this one's $350 with blue accents and a belt satin, which is very nice. I love the pocket clip. It's long and skinny, but you know, it kind of reminds me of like a Artisan Cutlery pocket clip, and I really like their pocket clips because they're slim and sleek, and they work really well. This one works really well. I've reversed it over to the left side. One of the things I was going to say is it's ambidextrous, but it's not just ambidextrous. It actually works for both hands, where a lot of knives that say they're ambidextrous, like those pivot button locks and shit, they're not. Like, they are. The clip is reversible and you can use it left-handed, but it's inherently, you have a disadvantage as a lefty. So like on those pivot locks, this is how I flick a knife. Okay? You're probably like, yeah, Kev, we know how to flick a knife. Well, look where my finger is. My index finger rides across this whole area here. Okay? So if there's a button here for a pivot lock, or a button lock right here, right? Or even here. Sometimes the button's here, right? My finger will be on it. And that will basically weaken the detent. And then it doesn't feel the same, right? Or I'm depressing the button a little bit, so then when it locks up, it's not actually locked up all the way. It just causes issues, makes the knife not as fun for me as a lefty. This works either way. So one of the questions you may have is, can you disengage this lock by pushing one tab in? Do they, does pushing this tab in push this tab? No, they're independent of each other. And the knife is still locked up solid. I mean, it's not even rocking. It's not doing anything. You know how sometimes on a button lock or something like that, you push the button, or you push the button in a little bit and it starts to wobble and shit. Now, you could push a whole tab all the way in. It doesn't even rock. You have to disengage both for it to start to close, okay? So is there the chance that you could disengage this in your hand, like if you're holding it in some weird grip? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people who find a way to like pinch like this and close it. I kind of, I messed around with it, cut with it, was fidgeting with it, was trying to kind of find a way that I accidentally pushed both tabs like that. And there really wasn't one where I like did it. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's going to be a situation where somebody's trying to, you know, cut through some crazy shit and they're really just like squeezing the shit out of the knife and their fingers up here and they somehow get like that, close it, right? So sure, maybe it's not, you know, it's not as hard to disengage as some other locks, maybe. But to me, it's plenty secure. I don't see that happening to many people, but it could depend on your hand size or something like that, perhaps. Because like as you can see, I don't have a finger anywhere near that tab, and you have to push both tabs independently. So you can't just push one and have the knife close. You have to push both. Okay, let me just demonstrate that again. Push, nothing. Push, nothing. Push, close. So, I mean, yeah. To me, it's like the, you guys remember when the FSD came out from Brown Knives? More of a custom, CNC custom small batch knife, but hopefully a lot of you remember it. You know, there were some people that got a little upset about the lock because like they could, in this crazy grip, make it disengage. That, you know, it was never a concern for me. And I know Nick tested the shit out of this thing because that was one of his thought processes as well, right? So anyway, just wanted to run through that. I do have a couple of critiques on the knife. It does have a front flipper, by the way. I've been over here flicking like crazy because I absolutely love the reverse flick on this. So happy with how these detents came out. That was always my concern, was like, will they get the detents right? You know, you got to dial it properly. Because if you have two detents, you know, maybe you could make it too strong or something, you know. To me, this is perfect. And that was another reason why I thought Riot would be the best fit for him to get it started, you know. And I think I was right because they nailed the detents. Get it? Detents? Because there's two. But yeah, the front flipper. So my concern with the front flipper was it's not that tall. I was a little worried about that. It actually works really well. I can flick it really well. The jimping comes up very close to the top. I would probably jimp it up and around a little bit just to give it that extra. You can actually come up here and reach around it. At least I was doing it earlier. I don't know if I was standing. There you go. Sometimes I can get a better grip like when I'm standing up. But there you go. You can do that. I was able to roll it back. And then, of course, you can front flip it. So it actually worked really well as a front flipper tab. So I like that. I was talking about critiques, right? What was I gonna say? Oh, the tab. So again, I don't know if he calls them tabs. I just call them tabs, but whatever. It's not the tabs actually. It's the liner around the tabs, which I think is milled out of the titanium, or it might be an insert. We'll take it apart and see. But when you squeeze these, on the original prototype, the first one from Riot, not the original prototype, but the first one from Riot, when you pinch these, that kind of framed area right there, you can see how it's raised up a little bit. It was like too high up. And when you squeezed, it was like kind of sharp and it hurt. This has been updated and it is way better. You do still feel it. Like you feel that border there, but it's not as sharp and it's not as, it doesn't hit, like you don't feel it as much. It's hard to explain, but I do think that could still be softened up a little bit. And I think he said on the next model that they're doing, they've already addressed that. But I will say it's not like bad. I think if you sat here and fidgeted with this for hours, maybe it would start to irritate you a little bit, but you would have to like be overly squeezing the shit out of the tabs. And if you squeeze them like in the center, you barely feel it. I tend to kind of grab the back of them towards the spine, and then you can feel it a little bit more. But still, it's not enough to be like a deal breaker or really that big of a deal. It's more of a nitpick at this point. But I do think, I venture to guess, if another run of these comes out, they will be even better in that aspect. That's my nitpick. I mean, dude, I really love the knife other than that. It's got a forward finger choil, 50-50 choil. You know I love those. Oh, yeah, I did have one other critique, the jimping. So, it's kind of funny, actually. The jimping, it obviously for the front flipper up here, so you hammer that, makes sense. And you know I love me some Vox style jimping, like forward of the, you know, where you're going to rest your thumb. So like you can pinch grip it and get on there or come up like this, right? So there's jimping up in this kind of poon spoon. That's what I call it. It's like a harpoon and then a swoop. But it's kind of funny, like the place where I put my thumb is the only place where there's no jimping. I just thought that was kind of funny. It's almost like he's trolling us. Like, you're not getting that jimping, you son of a bitch. But yeah, I wish there was jimping right. I wish it would just go all the way. But then I know that would kind of kill the concept here of this harpoon, which I could do without that harpoon probably. I'm not really a big, you know, it almost seems like a double poon with this part here. Not the biggest fan of double poonage, even though you could just say that that's something else. But yeah, if this was just straight, and then you could have jimping running like to here, and then again from here or something. But it's just odd that there's no jimping like right where my thumb wants to go, right where my index finger wants to go. You can climb up like this, and that does feel really good. But just, you know, I gotta critique it a little bit. Other than that, guys, this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Look at that. Perfect centering. It is smooth, like nice and contoured. Not overly contoured, but you got that little bit of a contour, and you've got the line milling. Big fan of the line milling, of course. I don't know if these two little dots have any meaning or anything. You know, like Quiet Carry has 4. I don't know what those mean either, but maybe these mean something. You got the N for Numb Knifeworks. It's a little crooked. I think that's on purpose, though. You know, because Numb Skull, Numb Knifeworks, unhinged, so it kind of makes sense. It would be a little bit off. But yeah, guys, that reverse flick is just so good. So yeah, I can reverse flick it, and it's fantastic. I can thumb flick it, and it's fantastic. You can obviously slow roll it out. You can use the buttons, and you can whip it out with the buttons. So she said you can front flip it. You can roll back it. And I showed you earlier, you can reach around it. So I don't know how many different ways I just opened this knife, but there you go. That's all of those. Obviously right-handed, it's the same thing. You can kind of like disengage it just enough to start like shaking it down. And then you can, you know, use it like a normal liner lock would be. It's very satisfying. Or you can just squeeze them and have it drop like it's hot, like a button lock or whatever, right? Very cool, innovative, unique, and I think all of those things are awesome. So you guys want to see inside? I want to see inside. I want to see what bearings we're rocking, and maybe we'll swap them out. This pivot looks pretty big, so I think he went with a T10 on there. So let me grab a T10. See how the hardware is. That feels pretty good. Yeah, we're going to find out how easy or difficult it is to take apart. I'm thinking it's pretty easy. unless you go down to the like bare bones, which we might. We'll see. Take the T8 now. So you do have 3 different drivers. You have a T10 there, T8 it looks like for these. And then you got T6 on those tabs. So I would like to minimize that. I would probably just change the pivot to a T8. I know T10 seems cool. We kind of went through the same process with Divo. We wanted T10 for the pivot, but then we realized, like, why not just make it T8? It's plenty strong, and you're now making it more difficult for your customers to take the knife apart, right? People have to hunt down a T10. I think it's just this screw that I need to remove. We'll see in a second. Let me actually separate that. I think that was the same size, but yeah, that was easy. So here's the inside, and you can see kind of what's going on here. So it's literally like a sideways lock bar almost, if you get what I'm saying. And when you push it, that goes out of the way. And there's one of those on each side. And they each have a detent. I mean, it's fucking cool, is what it is. Let's see where it's locking up. For bearings, we have 5mm 1/16 standard bearings. So if you're skiffing this, 5mm 1/16 a 12 ball. Is this a stop pin? Or no, internal stop pin. Nice. This is a pin in the backspacer to help with stability, it looks like. Very nice. I like that. So, this is cool. The blade has these 2 angled cuts on it. You see that? And that's where those tabs lock up, which is very cool to look at. See, I don't have that engineer brain that Nick has. Colin has it too, I think. So for me, it's harder to like visualize these things. But let's say we have it on, right? It is now, well, we should show the detent hole is actually a pass-through detent hole, but it needs to be bored out on both sides for a detent ball. So normally if you see a pass-through detent hole, you'll see one side like this, and the other side will be like a tiny little exit hole, right? But on this one, obviously it needs it on both sides because there's a detent that's popping in on both sides. So when it comes around, that tab comes in right where that like little rounded area is there. So to me, that seems super secure. Like, it's kind of like how a compression lock locks up, right? Except you have one on both sides, and instead of being like a long lock bar of some kind, it's like these wings. And then this one obviously pops in on the other side. It's just fucking cool, dude. Super cool. I think I'm actually not going to take it down any further than this. I don't see the point. The backspacer, can I get it off? I think I can. I think I can. There's that pin again. Let me get one of these off. If I need to, I'll loosen. Okay, I don't need to. Very cool backspacer. Just nice piece of titanium with the channel. So here's your liner. Like, so there's a embedded, I don't know what you call it. I guess it's a liner. They're able to keep it stupid thin though, you know? That piece is what has the shadow box or the frame on it. That actually pops into a hole on the outer piece. And maybe I will remove that to show you. I should be able to do that, no problem. So I need a T6 for this. I assume, yep. So T6 on here. I'll take apart this side. T6 here. And now you'll see this part should be able to come free now. Yep, you can see those are now coming in. This whole thing's going to come out of here. I just need something to grab to do it. I think this is the only thing I got right now. There we go. Oh, the pivot's holding it in, yeah. Oh, and another barrel right here. That barrel is also holding it in. Damn. So it's, I mean, it's fucking secured on there, dude. Okay. So here we are. Oh, there's a spring. Fuck. Did not know there was a spring. Okay. See, now we're in trouble, Kev. Not know there was a spring. So there's a spring? It is a spring lock. Motherfucker. You guys know I hate spring locks. It doesn't matter because I didn't notice. And there's detents, so it's okay. And then you have a titanium, essentially, wing cover plate, whatever you want to call it. And that's how he keeps it looking, you know, nice. Because that's titanium, matches the frame and everything. And then you have the screw there to hold it in. So, I mean, there's a lot going on here, right? And you have a pin, it looks like, going through here to help this piece pivot. And something else fell out. All right. I think it was just the pivot, actually. Cool. That's fucking wild, dude. And that's on both sides, obviously. So this is going to take a little longer for me, but it's going to take a little longer for like Riyadh or whatever to assemble these. So, you know, it might cost more to make these in general, but I guess we'll find out. I did not know there was a spring in there, though. I guess something has to keep the pressure on the tab, right? So you can see how the tab is sticking up right now. Well, the only way to do that is with that spring under there. I didn't realize that at all. So let's see how hard it is to put that part back together. So I'm assuming the spring drops into this kind of circular area right here. So you just drop that in. It should hopefully stay in that spot so we don't have issues. And then I did not remove the wing from the liner, so hopefully that helps us here. And you can see there's a little hole in the bottom of that, and that's where that spring is going to seat into right there. And then the detent ball goes next to that. So, oh, and you can see here, this is the part that comes through the scale and pops out the other side, and then this wing comes out of it. And this is the part that I was saying was a little bit too sharp initially. So let's see. I'm going to have it sit which way? I guess I want it kind of popping up like this as I put it on. Or maybe it'll just do all this itself. Don't know if I want to have the pivot in right now. We'll see how it lines up. So let's see how easy this is. Just worried about that spring being a bitch. Don't know what that sound was, but we're going to see. Seems like it's fine. So that might have been easier than I thought. We're going to see in a second when I try to put the pivot through. So, I mean, it has some, you know, it's got some stuff going on, but I don't think any of it is overly complicated, you know? Like, there's more parts than on a liner lock, I guess. But it's not like you can't figure it out. I figured that out pretty quick. And if you're gonna use a spring, I mean, that's the best way to use it, because I didn't even know it was there. I should have thought it makes sense that it's there if you think about it. But that was easy. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I never actually took apart any of the garage prototypes he sent me. I was too afraid to get into it. So then this one drops down here like that. This pin, I'm going to, just to be safe, I don't think I need to, but I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite in the hole, or I'll just put it on the thing. Whoops. A little bit turn into a lot. Put that down in there and it'll disappear. Bye-bye, Loctite. And then over here, I'll put it here, just a little bit. And that way, if there's any wiggle in that pin, which with a Riot knife, I've never had that, it'll take care of that, which is cool. All right, bearings. So we want 5 mil 1/16. Running low. I haven't ordered bearings in a long time. I need to order some. Okay, so this is what you want if you're buying a Numb Knifeworks Cornerstone, right here. And yes, this turned into a long video, but that's what happens. So, welcome to the channel. I also have some thicker oil. I don't know if I need it, but there is a detent track on both sides of the blade. Now, the thing is, because there's 2 of them, you have 2 detent balls taking up the slack. So they're not going to probably go as deep as you would with 1 detent ball, right? I like the inherent, like, equalness, symmetry of this. It's very nice. So I guess got a little bit there on that side and a little bit here on that side. Also, I got number 3. Shout out to Nick. He wanted me to get a low numbered version. I will pass this around, I think, my pass around group. So it's not going to be like a safe queen or anything, but still cool to have. Super cool to see this come to fruition. I'm used to that now, you know, having Divo and having our own stuff that comes to life. So it's like almost normal to me, but you know, for somebody to want to start a knife company and have cool new designs, and I mean a freaking new locking mechanism, and have that come to fruition, it's something special. I mean, it's not just like, hey, here's another knife. This is somebody's you know, extreme hard work and dream. So very, very cool. All right, drop that in. So if you were just taking this apart to swap the bearings, the cool thing is you don't have to worry about any of that other stuff I just did. You literally just take it apart like any other, like a frame lock or something, and then just put it back together. You don't have to mess with these or anything. So the only time you'd have to mess with them is maybe after like years of playing with it and those springs somehow wear out. But I don't know if anybody would get to that point. So we're just going to pop that into the captive spot. We have everything in place. Take our pivot screw, which does not seem to have been Loctited, which is nice. I'll probably do it. Oh, this was a T10. I just want to get it started so I have everything locked down. Okay, T8. This one was the body screw. Pretty sure, anyway. Let me get this back. Tighten that down. This one was the opposite clip screw. When you do take if you swap the clip on yours, just make sure you squeeze, like hold it here when you do it, because you're gonna remove these 2 screws, which is gonna release this scale off of the backspacer, okay? Then you're gonna remove the bottom screw here and then this screw on the other side so you can reverse it. And then this whole bottom area is gonna be loose because these screws are holding those scales onto the backspacer. So just kind of pinch it like this. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't, but it's just easier to swap the clip that way. Let us check the pivot. Okay, it's tight. Let's see how we look. Dead centered. Still good. See if she swings. Whoop. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention was when I got it, I just took it apart, so anything that happens here, that's on me. It was a bank vault, side to side, which it is right now, and up and down, absolute tank. I love that. I hate when you get that little bit of lock rock. Even when it's not lock rock, like it feels like it's moving, it's just the liner is flexing or, you know, whatever it is. But there's nothing. This thing is an absolute, like, bank vault. And these bearings are going to break in, and it's going to be smooth as fuck. I mean, it's already smooth as shit. Yeah. This is going to be fantastic once those skips break in. Let me go ahead and put in, I don't know if it needs Loctite. Do I want to glue it? Don't think so. But I want to carry the shit out of it. But you know what? I'm going to go to bed. So let me just clean it out. And then need a small guy. That's what she said. All right, here we go. Just cleaning the pivot because there's going to be oil and shit in there. See? All right. Then we're going to get some Loctite. Where I already had it. Haha. You see, I've been getting like bubbles because it's a fresh bottle. Don't like that. I want me some thick Loctite. Like that, but not even close to that much. Jesus. I glued my Cornerstone together with Loctite. Will you warranty this? Oh, boy. I watched this numbnuts Lefty and he glued it together. He said to use this much Loctite. Okay. Dead nuts. I like that. By the way, not even a hint of detent lash. Like, this lock just does all the things that I like. It really, yeah. Ooh, hello. Free balling. I mean, god damn, dude. Bank vault. I mean, I could probably tighten it more. Just don't really feel like I need to. Nah, it's pretty good. Oh. Yeah, guys. I mean, this is the coolest thing to come out in the knife world in a long time. That's the easiest way for me to word it to you guys. The coolest thing we've seen since the shark lock. That's honestly how I felt about this when he showed it to me. I was like, dude, this could be the next shark lock. It really could be. So, it looks like he's taken steps to do it that way. Maybe, you know, bring out a more affordable model next and really get the lock out there for people to play with because it's awesome. You know, part of me is a traditionalist in a sense. I really like a liner lock or a frame lock, like a really good bolster lock, it's always going to probably be my favorite thing. But god damn, dude. And I take back everything I said about spring locks. I absolutely love spring locks now. The spring in this is secondary, like it's just a, you know, but it does exist, so I have to admit it. This is a spring lock I love. So, damn it, Nick. How did I not realize that? I would have talked shit this whole time. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Check out Numb Knifeworks. Follow them. Go to their website and sign up for their newsletter. They are working with Blade HQ in some way on this. I don't know. It looks like they're going to be selling some directly. They're probably selling some through Blade HQ. And I'm not sure how that relationship works, but definitely follow both of them. I'll link both of them down below. I do work with Blade HQ. And support Numb Knifeworks, man. Nick's a cool dude, and I can attest to the amount of work he put into this. So, proud of you, man. Really happy for you. And definitely can see the PinchLok and Numb Knifeworks going places. So, that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'm sure Nick will be down there to answer anything you guys need that my dumbass couldn't show you or didn't understand with the lock. And yeah, I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.